The giant alien ship hung in space like a shiny knife. Admiral Jack Miller stared at it through the window of Earth's space station. The ship had shown up 3 days ago at the edge of our solar system. It was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Any answer to our messages?" he asked, his eyes fixed on the ship. Lieutenant Susan Gray looked at her screen. "No, sir. They're staying quiet." The space station was called Orbital Defense Platform Alpha, but everyone just called it the Shield. It was Earth's best defense tool, built after all the countries finally stopped fighting each other. Now it protected Earth and welcomed visitors from space. "Sir, the ship is powering up," called Officer Alan West from his station. "Looks like they're getting ready to move." Miller nodded slowly. People had always wondered if aliens existed, but now they had proof. When the ship first appeared, governments called emergency meetings, armies got ready, and people felt both, scared and amazed. "They're moving now, sir, coming this way at 1/4 light speed, slowing down as they get near Mars." Miller fixed his uniform. "Tell Earth Command, put all defense stations on yellow alert. Don't look threatening, but get weapons ready just in case." For 6 long, tense hours, everyone waited as the alien ship came closer. Finally, it stopped near Earth's orbit, about 50 kilometers from the space station. Up close, it looked even bigger, about 5 times longer than the station. "Sir," Susan said, her voice excited, "they're sending us a message with sound and picture." "Show it," Miller ordered. The main screen turned on. It showed a human-like being with blue, shiny skin, a long face and eyes that changed color when it moved. The alien wore a fancy uniform with symbols that looked important. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English, its voice making a strange echo. "I am Grand Emissary Vexilor of the Galactic Hegemony. We have been watching your world and decided you are ready to join our empire. Your technology has reached the level where we make contact. This is a big day for your kind." Miller's face got tight. "Emissary Vexilor, I am Admiral Jack Miller of Earth's Unified Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact, but Earth does not want to join any empire." The alien's face stayed the same, but its eyes got harder. "Admiral, maybe I wasn't clear. This is not an invitation, but a notice. All thinking species that the hegemony finds must become part of our group. The other choice is not pleasant. We will start landing our people on your planet within 1 day." Miller looked at his officers, then back at the screen. "Emissary, we need time to talk with our world leaders before any landing happens." "You have 6 hours," Vexilor said, then cut the connection. Miller quickly called Earth Command. "Get me the Secretary General. Things just got more complicated." Within an hour, the United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting. The alien message had been shared worldwide. For the first time, all humans faced the same threat from outside Earth. Secretary General Patricia Vaughn spoke to the group. "Our science team confirms what we thought. Their technology is more advanced than ours, but not by too much. They seem to think we're ready for contact because we developed fusion power and our early quantum communication network." "What can we do?" asked the person from India. Admiral Miller, joining by video, answered, "Their weapons look strong, but our analysis shows their ship isn't mainly for fighting. It's more like a diplomatic ship with some weapons for protection." "So they didn't expect us to fight back," said the person from China. "They expected us to just give in." "Exactly," Miller agreed. "And that gives us an advantage they don't know about." The Director of Global Intelligence, Calvin Rogers, spoke up. "We've been getting ready for this possibility for decades. Project Aegis was designed for exactly this situation." Everyone in the room started talking at once. "The shield platforms aren't just for defense," Rogers continued. "They have quantum or displacement technology. We can create a protective field around the planet that will stop any unauthorized landing." Secretary General Vaughn looked worried. "Are we really thinking about saying no to them? We don't know what they might do to us." "If we give in now," Miller said firmly, "we'll never be free again. This is humanity's chance to decide our place in the galaxy." After much debate, everyone voted. The decision was unanimous. When the 6-hour deadline came, Admiral Miller faced Emissary Vexler on the screen again. "Your people are not allowed to land," Miller said clearly. "Earth recognizes the galactic hegemony, but declares itself independent. We are open to talking as equals, but we will not join your empire." Vexler's face showed real surprise, then amusement. "Admiral, you don't understand your position. Resistance is not an option for you. Our landing ships will continue as planned." Miller kept his face calm. "That would be a bad idea, Emissary. Earth's airspace and orbit are now closed to Empire ships." "Bold words from a species that hasn't even traveled to other stars," Vexler said with almost a smile. "We'll see how well your declaration holds up." The screen went dark. Miller turned to his crew, his face serious, but determined. And so it begins. The next morning, Earth did something no one would forget. On TVs and screens all over the world, Secretary General Vaughn gave a speech that people later called the Terra Declaration. "Today, all humans speak with one voice to the stars. We, the people of Earth, say our planet and solar system belong to us, free from any space empire that wants to rule us. We want peaceful friendships with all thinking beings, but we say no to joining the galactic hegemony or any empire like it." She looked straight at the camera. "To the galactic hegemony. Earth is closed to your ships. No empire ships allowed in our space. We invite you to talk with us as equals, but we will fight for our freedom if we must." This message was sent in all Earth languages and straight to the alien ship in orbit. On the shield, Miller and his team watched the hegemony ship closely. 3 smaller ships had left the main ship after their last talk, probably ships meant to land on Earth. "They're getting ready to enter the atmosphere," said Officer West. "Heading toward North America, just where they said they would land." Miller nodded. "Turn on the Aegis system." Lieutenant Gray's hands moved quickly over her. "Controls." "Aegis system is on. The quantum field is forming." Around Earth, 24 space stations like the Shield quietly turned on special equipment. A faint blue glow, hard to see with just the eyes, started to wrap around Earth like a second sky. The first alien landing ship sped toward Earth. Sure, it would get through, but when it hit the blue field, something strange happened. Instead of crashing or breaking, it just moved back to where it started, near the mothership. The ship tried again, going even faster. Again, it touched the field and jumped back to its starting point. The other 2 ships tried different paths, but the same thing happened. "They're scanning our field," Gray said. "Trying to figure out what's happening." Miller let himself smile a little. "They didn't expect us to have this kind of technology. The quantum field doesn't hurt their ships. It just stops them from crossing the line we've set." The communications officer looked up. "They're calling us, sir." Vexler's face appeared on screen, looking annoyed instead of diplomatic. "Explain this technology now. You shouldn't be able to do this at your level of development." Miller stood straight. "Like I said, Emissary, Earth is closed to hegemony ships. Your guess about our technology was wrong. This level of quantum control should be impossible for humans." Vexler insisted. "You must have had help from outside, which breaks hegemony rules for worlds we're about to add to our empire." "We made it ourselves," Miller said simply. "Maybe you need to rethink what humans can do." Vexler's eyes got narrow. "This defiance is new and unacceptable. I must tell you that if you keep resisting, we'll label Earth as an enemy. You have one day to change your mind before we take stronger action." After the call ended, Lieutenant Gray looked worried. "Sir, do you think they'll really attack? We haven't tested the Aegis system against weapons yet." Miller looked serious. "They're too proud to give up at the first sign of trouble. They'll test our defenses for sure, but remember, they came in what's basically a fancy diplomatic ship with guns, not a real warship. They weren't expecting a fight." "What if they call for backup?" asked Officer West. "Then we've bought ourselves time," Miller answered. "Every hour we stay free gives our scientists more time to study their technology and improve our own." Down on Earth, the Declaration had brought humans together like nothing before. Old enemies put aside their fights as countries shared resources and knowledge. Armies around the world got ready, and cities began preparing their people for possible trouble. At the United Nations, representatives worked all night making emergency plans. Scientists and engineers from different countries shared secret research, looking for any edge against the more advanced aliens. In a safe room deep under Geneva, Secretary General Vaughn met with her crisis team. "How is Project Lighthouse doing?" she asked. Director Rogers looked at his tablet. "The deep space monitoring system is working perfectly. If they call for help, we'll catch the signal. Our quantum communication system is ready to send our message to any possible friends out there." "Friends?" one advisor asked. "We don't even know if there are other free worlds out there." "The way the hegemony responded suggests this isn't the first time they've met resistance," Rogers replied, "which means others have tried to stay independent. Whether they made it or not is another question, but we're about to find out if we're the only ones fighting back." Meanwhile, on the shield, Miller got a private message from Earth Command. "Admiral," said the message from General Diane Carter, "our analysis shows the hegemony ship has an energy weapon we're calling a stellar lance. It might be strong enough to break through our displacement field as it is now." Miller frowned. "What do you suggest?" "We're changing the Aegis settings to make it stronger, but you should get ready for a direct fight. You are allowed to use the prototype weapons on the shield if you need to." Miller acknowledged the order and turned to his weapons officer, Lieutenant Pete Johnson. "Start powering up the kinetic response array. Do it quietly." Johnson nodded, knowing how important this was. The kinetic response array was humanity's biggest secret. A weapon using tiny controlled black holes that could theoretically cut through any known shield. As the aliens' deadline got closer, Miller looked out at the stars beyond the hegemony ship. Humans had always dreamed of meeting aliens. No one thought it would immediately become a fight for their right to rule themselves. "1 hour until deadline, sir," Gray said softly. Miller nodded. "Now we wait and get ready to make history, one way or another." The deadline passed and nothing happened for 30 tense minutes. Then, without warning, the alien ship started to move. "They're moving to a new orbit over the poles," announced Officer West. "Energy readings are going up." Miller's face got hard. "They're looking for a weak spot in our shield. All stations, get ready for battle. Alert the other platforms." Around Earth, the network of defense stations silently tracked the alien ship's movement. Inside the shield, the crew worked quickly and efficiently, even though they had never faced aliens before. "Sir," called Lieutenant Gray, "we're seeing energy building up like they're charging weapons." Before Miller could answer, the screen turned on, showing Vexler again. The alien's friendly act was completely gone. Now he looked cold and angry. "This will be my last talk with your current leaders," Vexler said coldly. "Your defiance is noted for the history books, but it ends now. The hegemony has taken over thousands of worlds, many with simple defenses like yours. What happens next is sad, but necessary." The screen went black suddenly. "They're firing," shouted West. A bright beam of energy, white with purple edges, shot from the alien ship toward Earth. It hit the quantum shield and seemed to pause for a moment before being pushed away into space, missing both Earth and the defense stations. "Shield is holding," Gray reported, though she sounded stressed. "But they're already adjusting for another shot." Miller opened a channel to all platforms. "This is Admiral Miller. Start Defense Plan Theta. Code Miller 71 Zulu." All around Earth's orbit, the defense platforms began to move, changing positions to make a stronger field. The shield itself moved forward, putting itself between the alien ship and Earth. The alien ship fired again, this time aiming at the shield directly. The beam hit the station's local shield, lighting it up with a blue glow before being harmlessly pushed away. "They're scanning us between shots," West reported, "trying to figure out where our power comes from." Miller nodded grimly. "Lieutenant Johnson, get the kinetic array ready. Target their weapons only. We want to stop them, not kill them." "Yes, sir. Kinetic array ready." The alien ship fired a third time, the beam noticeably stronger. This time, the shield around the shield flickered for a moment. "Shield strength at 87% and dropping," Gray called out. "They're learning fast." Miller took a deep breath. "Lieutenant Johnson, fire." From hidden spots on the shield, 6 small objects shot out, looking tiny against the massive alien ship. They moved at impossible speeds, leaving faint trails of bent space behind them. When they hit the alien ship, There was no explosion. No big crash. Just 6 precise spots on the ship's hull that suddenly caved inward. Direct hits, Johnson confirmed. Their main weapon is damaged. The alien ship immediately stopped firing, its energy readings going crazy. They're trying to fix things, West reported. Their backup systems are turning on. Miller opened a communication channel. Hegemony ship, this is Admiral Miller. We have disabled your main weapons. If you keep attacking, we will take more defensive actions. Earth remains closed to your ships. But we are open to peaceful talks if you're willing to accept our independence. For nearly a minute, there was no answer. Then the screen turned on, showing not Vexilor but another alien, this one with darker skin and more fancy badges. I am High Commander Traz of the Galactic Hegemony. Your attack on a diplomatic ship is a serious violation of space rules. Miller stayed calm. With respect, Commander, your diplomatic ship fired on our world after clearly threatening corrective action. We responded with equal force, targeting only your weapons while avoiding any shots that would hurt your people. The alien commander's eyes narrowed. Your technology is very interesting, Admiral. The hegemony does not allow unauthorized quantum manipulation at your level of development. You will give us full details of your defense systems and weapons. Technology right now. I'm afraid that's not possible, Miller replied. As we've said many times, Earth is independent. Our technology belongs to us, made by human skill and not subject to hegemony control. Commander Traz was quiet for a moment, clearly thinking about the situation. You have surprised us, humans. That rarely happens. We will pull back for now, to think about this encounter, but make no mistake. The hegemony does not accept your declaration of independence. This matter is not over. The call ended, and the alien ship began to move away from Earth, its engines still working despite the damage to its weapons. They're setting up an orbit at the moon's distance, West reported. Energy readings suggest they're making repairs. Miller nodded slowly. And probably calling for backup. Lieutenant Gray, tell Earth Command about the fight and ask for a direct line to Secretary General Vaughn. The bridge crew worked quietly for a few minutes, feeling the weight of what had just happened. Humanity had just fought its first space battle, and won. Sir, Gray said finally, looking up from her screen with wonder in her eyes. Messages are coming in from Earth. People saw the energy beams from the ground. They know what happened. Miller looked at the main screen, now showing a live picture of Earth below them. From this distance, it looked peaceful, unchanged. But everything had changed. The Secretary General is ready for you, sir, Gray added. Miller straightened his uniform. Put her through. It's time to get ready for what comes next. 3 days passed with the alien ship staying at the distance of the moon. Earth remained on high alert, but the immediate danger had eased enough to start longer-term planning. Admiral Miller had been called back to Earth for emergency meetings with world leaders, leaving the shield under the command of his second-in-charge. He now stood in the United Nations General Assembly Hall, which had been turned into a command center for Earth's response to the hegemony. The Deep Space Monitoring Network has confirmed it, Director Rogers was saying. They sent a quantum message shortly after moving to lunar orbit. Based on the signal patterns, we think it reached a hegemony outpost about 12 light-years from our solar system. So they've called for backup, Secretary General Vaughn concluded. How long do we have? If they have ships at that outpost, and if those ships can travel faster than light like their vessel, between 2 and 4 weeks, Rogers replied. The room got quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. Then we have very little time to strengthen our position, Admiral Miller said finally. The displacement field worked against one ship, but we don't know if it can stand up to a coordinated attack from multiple ships. There's something else, added Dr. Karen Wells, Earth's top expert in alien languages who had been studying all talks with the hegemony. I've been studying the language patterns and diplomatic protocols used by both Vexilor and Commander Traz. There are differences that suggest the hegemony may not be as united as they want us to believe. She showed a display with analysis of their words. Their references to integration protocols have small variations that indicate possible faction differences within their political structure. Also, Commander Traz's reaction to our technology suggests genuine surprise, not just tactical concern. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" asked the representative from China. "That the hegemony might not all agree on how to handle us," she replied. "And that could give us diplomatic options beyond just fighting or giving up." Miller thought about this. If we could talk directly with their central authority, bypassing Vexilor and Traz. Exactly, Dr. Wells nodded. And I think I've found communication protocols that would let us do just that. Secretary General Vaughn leaned forward. "Make it happen, Doctor." "Admiral Miller, what's the status of Project Lighthouse?" "The Deep Space Transmission Array is ready," Miller reported. "If there are other independent worlds out there who have successfully resisted the hegemony, our message will reach them. And if there aren't?" someone asked quietly. "Then humanity stands alone," Miller replied. "As we have before." 2 days later, something surprising happened. The hegemony ship moved from its lunar orbit, but instead of approaching Earth aggressively, it sent a request for diplomatic talks. The request was accepted, and Commander Traz appeared once more on screens worldwide. "People of Earth," he began, his tone noticeably different. "I am authorized to tell you that your situation has been reviewed by the Hegemony Council. Your demonstration of advanced defensive technology has changed our assessment of your civilization's development stage." Miller, now back aboard the Shield, exchanged glances with Lieutenant Gray. "The Galactic Hegemony recognizes that standard integration protocols may be inappropriate for your world," Traz continued. "I am therefore authorized to invite Earth representatives to a diplomatic meeting to discuss alternative arrangements." Secretary General Vaughn, speaking from Earth, responded carefully. "The people of Earth acknowledge your invitation, Commander. However, we will only participate in discussions that begin with the recognition of Earth's independence." Traz's face remained neutral. "The hegemony is prepared to discuss special status designation for your world. The meeting would take place on neutral territory, a space station at the edge of your solar system. You may bring whatever security measures you think necessary." After the call ended, Miller connected with the Emergency Council on Earth. "It's a trap," insisted several military advisors. "They're trying to get our leaders off-world." "I don't think so," countered Dr. Wells. "The language markers indicate genuine authorization from higher authority. Something about our resistance has caused them to reevaluate." Director Rogers added another view. "Our intelligence suggests their ship has not yet fixed their weapons systems. They may be buying time." Or, Secretary General Vaughn said thoughtfully, "Our message reached someone we didn't expect." Everyone looked at her. "Project Lighthouse," she clarified. "We've been broadcasting our Declaration of Independence on all frequencies, including the quantum channels we found from their communications. What if someone else heard us? Someone within the hegemony who supports independent worlds?" The possibility hung in the air, exciting and uncertain. After much debate, Earth agreed to the meeting with extensive safety measures. A delegation led by Secretary General Vaughn, with Admiral Miller as military advisor and Dr. Wells as chief diplomatic officer, would meet the hegemony representatives. The Shield would take them, keeping displacement field protection the whole time. When they arrived at the meeting place, they found not just the original hegemony ship, but a large space station that hadn't been there before, apparently built from parts brought by the alien ship. "Impressive building speed," Miller noted as they approached. The Earth delegation was led to a large room within the station. To their surprise, they found not only Commander Traz and several other blue-skinned aliens, but also representatives of 3 other species they had never seen before. "Welcome, people of Earth," said a tall, slender being with silvery skin. "I am Supreme Arbiter Lix of the Galactic Council. Your declaration has caused quite a stir among the stars." Secretary General Vaughn stepped forward. "We thought we would be meeting with the hegemony." Arbiter Lix made a gesture that might have been a smile. "The hegemony is part of the greater galactic community, though they sometimes forget this fact. When your message reached our communication networks, the Council decided direct intervention was needed." Commander Traz looked distinctly uncomfortable. Another alien, this one with 4 arms and golden scales, spoke next. "I am Ambassador Noor. of the Free Worlds Alliance. Your resistance to hegemony integration is not unique, but your methods and technology are most impressive. As the meeting continued, Earth's delegation learned the truth about the wider galactic political landscape. The hegemony was indeed a powerful force, controlling thousands of worlds, but it was not the unopposed empire it claimed to be. The Free Worlds Alliance represented over 300 independent planets that had either resisted integration or negotiated special status. The hegemony's standard procedure is to approach developing worlds as if they are the only galactic authority, explained Ambassador Noor. Many species accept integration without question, never learning of alternatives until it's too late. Your quantum displacement technology, added Arbiter Lix, is of particular interest. Few worlds at your development stage have mastered such capabilities on their own. The negotiations lasted 3 days. In the end, Earth was granted official recognition as a sovereign territory by the Galactic Council. The hegemony, while clearly unhappy, accepted the ruling with the condition that Earth would not share its defensive technology with other developing worlds. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, Admiral Miller found himself talking with Ambassador Noor. "This is just the beginning for your species," the ambassador said. "The galaxy is vast and full of wonders and dangers in equal measure. Your declaration has earned you independence, but it has also placed you on a complex stage." Miller nodded. "Earth has never been afraid of complexity. We've survived our own divisions and conflicts. We'll find our way among the stars as well." "I believe you will," Noor replied. "Your species' combination of technical innovation and stubborn determination is quite remarkable." When the shield returned to Earth orbit, it was met by cheers from the crews of all 24 defense platforms. News of the diplomatic victory had spread ahead of them. Secretary General Vaughn addressed the world from the United Nations podium, the famous declaration now framed on the wall behind her. "Today marks humanity's true emergence onto the galactic stage," she announced. "Our declaration, 'No Empire ships allowed,' has become more than a defensive stance. It has become our introduction to a wider community of worlds. We have much to learn, but also much to offer. Earth remains sovereign, our future our own to determine." In the following months, diplomatic exchanges began with the Free Worlds Alliance. Trade talks started cautiously, with technology and cultural exchanges carefully managed to preserve Earth's independent development. The shield remained in orbit, a symbol of humanity's resolve and ingenuity. Admiral Miller stood once again at its viewport, looking not at an alien threat but at the stars that had become a frontier of possibility. "What are you thinking about, sir?" asked Lieutenant Gray, joining him at the viewport. Miller smiled slightly. "I was just thinking about what comes next. We've established our independence, but that's just the first step. Now we have to decide what kind of galactic neighbor we want to be. When given a choice between empire and independence, we chose independence," Gray observed. "I think that says something important about who we are.